Hello, everybody! Welcome to Dragonrider Happy Hour. You can totally see Maud, and I told Maud I would bring her in later, but Maud is here! Hi! We have a surprise Maud Garrett today, everybody. How fun is that? Welcome to Dragonrider Happy Hour. It's Friday. My hair's wet. This is not a naked truth, but it certainly reminds me of that. And I hope you're winding down the work week in a way that feels nice to you, kicking off your weekend. And we're going to talk about some gaming news. But before we get to that, we are going to say bye to Maud for a brief second. We'll bring Maud back in a second because we need to make room for bartender Nate to come on in. Hey, yo.
Hello, Dragonrider Happy Hour. So today's drink is Between the Sheets. Hello, brown chicken, brown cow. Between the Sheets is a well-balanced drink. It's made with brandy or cognac, light rum of choice, and Cointreau. And then lemon or lime, depending on your preference, and simple syrup to just sweeten it out and balance that out. Makes for a nice, light, kind of refreshing drink. If you're somebody who's into like a lemon drop or a Cosmo and you want something that's maybe just a little bit more spirit forward, this is kind of a nice blend to that. And then it's just garnished in this case with a lemon wheel, but you can do it with a lemon twist. That's it. Enjoy responsibly. Thank you.
Thank you. All right. And we're back. And we're back with a Maud Garrett.
Can we just real quick highlight Nate's epic Superman curl happening at the front, by the way?
Yes, Nate has curly hair. Not a lot of people know this. He definitely has curly hair, and sometimes the Superman curl is on point. Maud just said she really liked your Superman curl going on. Nate just poked his head back in like, what is happening? So I had to reiterate for him. Yeah, it was all good things.
Thank you.
He said thank you. I'm going to try this drink.
Is it good? It looks so good.
It is delicious.
He had me at Cosmo.
Yeah, it's really good. And I like Cosmos and lemon drops, so this is good for me. Maud, what are you drinking?
It's like liquid vitamins.
Healthy!
Feel good Friday.
I will say my hair is wet because I worked out before this, so I got my healthy done already. I'm feeling pretty good about it.
Did you do your...
I sure did. Supernatural VR. It's what I'm doing now. It's feeling good. I was like rocking it out and doing my squats and lunges to This Is Me from The Greatest Showman. Feeling really good. Yeah.
Good.
It was nice.
Do we have a big gaming news day?
It's kind of a slow gaming news week, actually, Maud. And to everybody out there. So I should mention Dragonrider Happy Hour. Yes, we hang out, we have drinks, we wind down our work week, but we also talk about gaming news. And if you are here just for the news, if the title has grabbed you and brought you in, not to worry, after the stream's over, I will chop this video up into chapters so you can skip right to the news topic that you're interested in, like some of the things we're going to talk about today. The new Wolverine game from Insomniac, rated M for mature, question mark. Nintendo Switch gets that Bluetooth update we've all been waiting forever for. Deathloop could be game of the year, but there have been some PC issues that we can talk about today. Oodles of video game delays and more. So Maud, of course, if there's any big gaming news that jumps right out at you, we will be sure to talk about that because that's what this is all about.
All of them. For the first time in Happy Hour history, I know a little bit, I have something to say on all of them, so I'll keep it nice and concise.
Yes, it's perfect. It's perfect. And welcome to everybody who's here in chat today. I see GDK Mouse, Patrick B, Steven Summers, Jose Suarez, Rob K is here, Luigi's here, Catnip Ninja is here. Thank you everybody for being here today. Hi, Voice and Jack. Voice and Jack says, hi, Trisha. Hi, guest. I should mention, for those of you who don't already know, the fantastic Maud Garrett. Maud Garrett is not only a beautiful human being and a wonderful friend of mine, she is an accomplished producer, host, actress, writer, boss lady of all amazing things, founder of Geek Bomb. I'm going to put her information in the description. If you don't already follow Maud, you should absolutely go ahead and do that. She is an A+ human. And I am so grateful that Maud is hanging out with me today for this Friday happy hour. So cheers.
Also, it was your birthday on Wednesday, 27.
Yeah, amazing, right?
I'll cheers to that with my green bun.
Cheers to that. I'm like, they got this very fancy dried fruit garnish in here, and
Yum.
I'm making sure not to spill anything on myself.
I love a good cocktail, especially just like says, it screams Friday, weekend is here.
It is. It is. And actually, Matt E in chat says she's a great singer too. Would you bill yourself as a singer, Maud?
No.
No.
In the shower.
Okay.
Yeah. I know what Stephen Summers is talking about. Bury it, Stephen. Bury it.
All right, so changing topics then, we'll move into Insomniac's Wolverine, which I could not be more hyped for Insomniac's lineup. During the PlayStation event showcase a week and a half ago, when they announced Spider-Man 2 and Wolverine, I was like, dude, I named my kid Logan Parker. Like, no one could be more hyped for this lineup than me. And so we got some more information on Wolverine. The director, Brian Horton, stated on Twitter that the game will be, and I quote, full-size, mature tone. So we're getting a full-size game, mature in tone. Now, to me, that makes me think like the movie Logan, as opposed to the animated series of X-Men. And I am on board with that. So fans are hoping for an M rating to keep with the tone of the character, but the game is obviously still in very early development. Maud, would you like to see a rated M for mature Insomniac Wolverine, or something that could maybe reach a little bit more of a broader audience?
No, even MA would be better, because I think that the evolution of Wolverine has been so successful because it's actually leaning into the tone that's most appropriate for the character. Here's a name drop, because I also am an entertainment correspondent. I interviewed Hugh Jackman about Logan, and one of the big things that I spoke to him about was how the movie Logan was very sort of adult in its language, as well as in the violence. And, you know, I go, what was that like, dropping some F-bombs? And he goes, about time. That when he was filming the X-Men trilogy, and when he was when he was doing all the snicked kind of stuff, he would drop in F-bombs, and they were like, you know, they had to edit them out in post.
Sure.
And he just goes, I just don't see Logan as a gosh darn it kind of guy. So I think that this is really honoring sort of who Logan truly is. He has frickin' blades between his knuckles. This guy's not delicate. It's very violent, and he's very colorful with his language.
It's true. And I mean, what I appreciated so much about the movie Logan was, you know, yeah, you've got these adamantium claws, right? You're not going to like gently scratch someone and then they fall over. Like, if you punch someone with that, that's going to do some serious damage. And we saw that in the movie. I see Himura Jubai in chat says 100% won an M rating, should not be anything else. And I think it was Tyler Boyce that said a little bit earlier, I would love Logan, the video game, take my money, Insomniac. Now, that being said, most people who watch Dragonrider Happy Hour are a little bit older. We might all be, you know, in our 20s, 30s, 40s, etc. So for all of us, we're like, yes, rated M, making an adult film. But of course, from a marketing standpoint, there are, I'm sure, a lot of teenage fans of Wolverine. In fact, my son Logan is 4.5 and a huge fan of Wolverine now that he knows who he's named after. So he watches X-Men, the animated series from way, way long ago. He does not watch Logan. But, you know, from a marketing standpoint, a broader appeal could mean more sales. But from a fan-based standpoint, I would love to see it be rated M. That's where I'm living.
I agree with you completely. I think that Marvel and Disney are trying so hard to cater for 5 to 55. And I find that the movies, the video games are better when you pick a niche market.
Yeah, I agree. And I mean, we've seen the success of Deadpool, so let's do it.
Yep.
And
all
Logan.
Right, cool.
The success of Deadpool and Logan, really. All right. Moving on, we've got some Nintendo Switch updates, which you might be saying, you know, the OLED version is on its way. Why are we getting updates to the Switch? But this is something people have been asking for forever. The Nintendo Switch can now be paired with a Bluetooth audio device. Oh, with the latest firmware update. So you do have to download the latest firmware patch to make it happen. And then afterwards, you will be able to find a Bluetooth audio option in the system settings page. So for those of you who have earbuds and, like myself, have been on an airplane and you're like, oh man, I'd love to be able to pair my Switch with my earbuds so I can listen to my game without having to bring over your headphones or another type of plug-in headphone jack. Now that is actually a thing. And interestingly, the Switch has always had Bluetooth. There was just no Bluetooth audio option. So the Switch can only be synced to one audio device at a time, but can save up to 10 devices, so keep that in mind. And only 2 wireless controllers can be connected to the Switch at a time when the Switch is paired with Bluetooth, with a Bluetooth audio device. So if you connect an additional wireless controller, that will disconnect the Bluetooth device. Again, because Switch was originally designed without Bluetooth audio pairing in mind. It had the Bluetooth functionality, but not for audio. Bluetooth microphones are not compatible at all. So no Bluetooth microphones, but we are all very excited for the Bluetooth audio. Ma, do you think this is something that you'll be using?
I do like the fact that I'm now majority a wireless bud wearer, and the last time, because it's been years since I've been on a plane now.
It does feel like that. I know.
I would have to pack my wired headset. So that is a really good call. I appreciate that. I really want to pitch Nintendo something. When are we getting the Switch Pass?
Oh, like a Game Pass, but for Switch?
Yes, because Nintendo, I was thinking about this the other morning and I was like, I'm going to write a stern worded tweet because they rarely do game sales.
Oh, rarely. Yeah.
Rarely. And the amount of times where I bought something on my Switch because I would prefer to play it on there, on my big screen and then in bed. And then 4 days later, it pops up for free in Game Pass when I just dropped $60. It happens so much. If Nintendo can corroborate and collaborate, even if it's just indie titles that we have access to that renews and replenishes every month or two, or if after 6 months of a big title comes out, there's a possibility that it shows up on Switch Pass, even that's better. Nintendo's biggest problem is that it does not provide incentive to purchase with them in a competitive market now that the Game Pass with Xbox has been introduced. That's my rant. Thank you.
Get it? Fire. I love it. Well, speaking of Nintendo never doing sales, this brings me to my second Nintendo Switch news this week. The Switch got a price drop, but in Europe only. So the original Switch price has dropped to £259.99 in the UK and to €99.99 in Europe. Nintendo stated it has no plans to drop the price here in the US, and the Nintendo Switch OLED model is going to be released October 8th of this year at $349.99 here in the States. So they said that this was due to currency, exchange rates, etc., which is why competitively they decided to drop the price there. But I mean, exactly what you were saying, Maud, about like Nintendo never does sales. So when this came about, kind of everyone in the industry was like, wait, excuse me, what? Because even though other manufacturers may say, hey, we're dropping new hardware, let's discount our earlier hardware in the meantime to kind of get rid of some inventory, that is so not Nintendo. That it was a very, very surprising move. Beertastic Yogi says, I will drink to that, Maud. So again, cheers for Maud's Nintendo Pass idea. We are all there for it. Maud is talking like a CEO, says Rob K. But yeah, I mean, absolutely. When you're buying the game again on Switch, which Maud, I have done as well. I have copies of the game in multiple platforms. I like to think of it that yes, I am paying that premium to have it on the go. But now that Game Pass has cloud gaming, if you have the right connection and the right device, that may take over cloud gaming for you. Or once the Steam Deck comes out,
yeah,
that may put an end to paying for the premium of taking it on the go as well. So
Switch is so screwed when that happens.
So here's a question for Maud and chat. The Nintendo Switch is the best-selling console of 2021 by a variety of outlets have reported. So to those who own a Nintendo Switch, will you be upgrading to the OLED version? And why or why not? Let me know.
No, I won't be. Especially, I paid more to have Xbox Game Pass on my PC. Because I stream here at my battle station, I need to have access for games so that for the capability of streaming. But then if I want to, I can move to play on my console as well. And then again with PC and Xbox Game Pass, I have access to EA games through EA Play. Like there's just so much available to me there that I am neglecting my Switch more and more. I have another idea because I love a pun. Pun. If all games are digital only, why not have something called Switch Out, where if you've had the game for like 3 or 6 months, or if it's a delayed game, there could be a library platform and you can literally switch out. You can switch out your games. So
I love this idea. Right now, neither PlayStation 5 nor Xbox allow resell of codes. So when you have a digital code, you can't resell that. So you would need to get PS5, you need to get Microsoft and Sony to be fully on board with it. Nintendo Switch and Steam, I believe, are much more publisher and developer friendly in that regard, where they can give away codes to the devs and the publishers and say do with them what you will, but not Xbox and PS5. Once they're purchased from the platform and PS5 and Xbox have taken a cut, they're like donezo.
And that's why I think Nintendo should be doing it and call it like the Switch out, because that's a way that they can have a leg up on their competitors who are absolutely obliterating them right now, except in sales.
Except for in sales, yes. Let's see. Luigi says, I would upgrade to the OLED. I have the old version Switch. I would upgrade for the OLED, but also just for the battery life, which is true. The bigger battery might be really, really great. And the plug-in LAN, if you're someone who plays a lot of online games on your Switch. Let's see. Rob K says, I'm satisfied with my PS5 right now. If I get another system, it'll be an Xbox. Beertastic Yogi says, OLED only appeals if you play handheld. If they made a Switch Pro that docked and played games in 4K, that would be worth getting. And I honestly think a lot of content creators would upgrade at that point too. Just because, I mean, I am not a content creator that records or posts videos in 4K, but there are times when I'm recording for other clients that I will record in 4K just so that they have the ability to zoom in on a section and not, degrade that quality so much, etc., even if they're only posting in 1080. That's something that I do for my Kingston series DIY in 5, for example. I always film in 4K so that they have options when it comes to post. Jimmy Sprinkle says, maybe you can get Nintendo to switch their minds with a strongly worded tweet, Mod.
That's my intention. It really is. They'll listen. Oh, yeah.
Woot! Langley M. Neely says, Switch doesn't do 4K. Switch does 720p, my dude.
Yeah, it's all, I mean, throughout the ages, Nintendo's focused on sort of like innovative gameplay instead of like precision visuals. They kind of left Xbox and PlayStation to do with that, but then all of a sudden, with the Wii, it's like, we'll do it like this. And then with the Wii U, it's like, we'll do it like this. So it's like, that's how it sets itself apart, but never bothered it with. I remember getting a game, Xenoblade Chronicles, on Nintendo Wii, and the graphics looked worse than a PS2, the previous console. And it really bothered me. It was irksome.
It's not their thing. Let's see. Tyler Baldwin says, I have a PS5, PC, and a Switch. I use my 5 more than anything, but if the Switch did do a Pro that was purely docked in 4K, I would be all over it. And I think the nice thing about what the Switch is offering with the OLED version, and if they do eventually come out with a Pro, is acknowledging that there are different types of gamers, right? Like the Switch Lite, anytime I talk about the Switch Lite on Amazon Live, there's always someone who hops in a chat and is like, the Switch Lite sucks. And I'm like, cool, it's just not for you though. Like if you can save $100 and buy a Switch Lite, maybe for like your young gamer, like if you have an 8 or 9-year-old, they're the only gamer in the house, you're not worried about multiplayer, they want to take it with them everywhere and throw it in a bag. If you can save $100 on that device, dude, get it. So whether it be a Switch Lite, an OLED version, a Pro version sometime down the line, there are different types of gamers out there with different needs in mind. Not everybody needs the super, super high-end, latest and greatest hardware version of everything. It's the same thing that I always talk about when it comes to laptops, right? There are some laptops that are made with portability in mind. Some laptops that are made with affordability in mind, that can it do the basic tasks and do it well? Great. And then there are some laptops, like my beauty over here, that are like high-end gaming in mind. There's lots and lots of different things out there, all for different consumers. So that's always smart to keep in mind as well.
Yeah.
Humor Dubai says the OLED Switch would be nice if I needed to replace mine. That's where I'm at.
Right.
I'm not upgrading, but if I did need a new Switch, I would heavily consider the OLED over the current generation. But my current generation's kicking it just fine, so I'm good.
Yep. I think my next big purchase that I'm looking forward to, I want to get the Series X. Because I just think the best thing in gaming right now is the Game Pass.
Especially if you're a content creator. Yeah. Not having to drop $70 for a new title every time a new title comes out. And like this fall, we've got 3 or 4 new titles a month. That adds up really quickly if you don't have something like Game Pass.
Also, it means that I can experiment a lot more as well. I remember I was recommended a game and I played it for about 2 or 3 hours and I was like, I just dropped $60 and I hate this game.
What game was that? I remember when that happened.
Persona 5.
That's right.
Oh, it was just not my cup of tea.
I actually did not jump into Persona 5 because of your experience, because I remember you saying, like, I bought this, I played it for a few hours, and I just don't like it.
But if it was on Game Pass, I'd be like, all right, cool. I tried that. I gave it 3 hours. I can uninstall it and make room for something else that's available. Yeah. It's just so good.
Yeah. Yeah. Really, really nice. All right. Speaking of really nice things that can be played on PC or console, Deathloop is a brand new release that's out currently for PS5 and PC. But it is experiencing some PC stuttering issues that people are reporting online. The developer said that they are aware of the PC stuttering issues and are working on it. But right now, that is the only negative thing I can find about this game online. Everyone else is like, this is game of the year. 10 out of 10 reviews everywhere. Players on Steam and PC in general. On PC and Steam, it's getting mixed reviews because of the frame rate issue, stuttering, poor optimization. And most of that people are saying is as a result of the anti-piracy software that's on it, which is interesting. IGN reached out to Bethesda about it, didn't get a response. And then there was someone on Reddit who claimed to be a Bethesda Deathloop community manager that said, we are aware of the performance issues that some PC users are experiencing, and we're actively investigating the issue right now as a high priority. We'll update you with more information as soon as we have it. So it's Reddit. This person could 100% not be a real community manager, but maybe they are. Community managers are on Reddit a lot, so that could be very valid. But like I said, it's getting crazy great reviews everywhere else. Some are anticipating it to be a contender for Game of the Year. Disco Cobra, thank you for the super chat, says, I can agree to a certain extent on Game Pass, but I find most games on it I'm not interested in. If anything, it's the day and date releases that I like most. So I think you mean the day one releases, perhaps. But yeah, Game Pass is a great deal. Maud, have you played Deathloop at all?
So I've got it and I'm looking forward to playing it. I just can't stop playing Boyfriend Dungeon at the moment because I want dating sims in all of my games. Like, I don't care what the genre is, what I'm doing. If I'm building a castle, I want it to be mixed in with a dating sim at the moment. That's just what my life needs right now. I'm living vicariously through my video games.
That's what video games are for. I only played it once on the Gong Show for about 20 minutes and it got gonged. My audience was like, no, we are not into this game. Which is funny because it made me giggle like a little girl. And also, I have no in-game games, so I thought maybe I need to play some dating sims to like get my skill level up when it comes to dating NPCs.
Okay, so it's bonkers. Like, one of them is not only a white supremacist, but also a cat. Another one is like a real sort of Lothario player, but is also a vampire. And there's so many innuendos that my goal when playing it is to play it and read all the dialogue with a straight face, and it's incredibly hard to do.
Okay.
But going back to a previous comment, I think Yaz in there was saying, have I tried Persona 4 Golden on Steam? Apparently that's got a bit of a dating simulation in it. That's what I thought I was getting. I thought I was getting that game instead of Persona 5, so I think I just got the wrong game. Daniel says Leisure Suit Larry is a dating game, right? There you go. You hit the nail on the head. I used to play that game as a kid and I didn't understand any of the context for it. I just remember liking the problem-solving strategy side of it all. So maybe that's where it's come from.
Oh, I definitely played Leisure Suit Larry as a kid and it did not help my in-game game at all. Not even a little tiny bit. I have jumped into Deathloop. I think it is super fun. It's a little scary for me. Shooters are always a little scary for me because I'm not very good at them, but the whole idea that there could be an assassin in every level looking for you terrifies me.
That's what I wanted the first Star Wars to be. Darth Maul should never have died in Phantom Menace. And Episode 2, Attack of the Clones, the whole premise should be the fact that Darth Maul has been consistently trying to hunt down Obi-Wan Kenobi to finish the job. That would have been more entertaining. I'm actually sold for Deathloop even more now, so I'm going to stream that one.
Okay, yeah, I mean, Deathloop is very exciting, and the whole the multiplayer aspect to it, Mod, is that someone you know can jump in and take over the assassin. So when you're playing it by yourself, the assassin's AI. But when you're playing it multiplayer, it's you and another player. It could be a random person from online or like a friends only or whatever, depending how you want to open it up. What was that?
Can we play? Well, I mean, we did Outriders.
Yes.
And that was a shooter game.
I would have to get better at it before I'm comfortable playing another real person, because I think I would just get decimated at this point.
I don't know. I think our skill level is around the same.
Maybe. I don't know. I did get to the point in the game where I encountered and took out Erika Ishii's character, so that was very fun. But yeah, Mod, once you get to, I think it's a certain story mission in the game. Once you get to that storyline, then you can join other people's games. But the only way to unlock skins in Deathloop is by playing as the assassin character. So maybe we should do that so that we can unlock skins and stuff. Also, I saw CP Falcon, I think, suggested it earlier that we should have a stream where I play Boyfriend Dungeon and Mod, you come over and coach me for my in-game game to teach me how to be a little bit better finding
Trisha,
in-game love.
I hate to state the obvious here, right? You're married. I'm single. You did better at it.
Okay, well, my chat can attest to this. My chat has often said, okay, you guys are saying Trisha and Mod doing Deathloop multiplayer would be awesome. Okay, we'll make it happen. But my chat has always said this: thank goodness Nate married you, because this is hopeless. Like, my in-game game is just dirt. And when I think back on my real life dating history, to be honest, I was a serial monogamist. So like, as far as like getting the dates past the like initial coffee stage to something serious has only happened a handful of times in my life.
Yeah. It's
so
hard.
Yay for the husbando. I was very, very lucky. All right, we've got a ton of video game delays announced this week, which some you might care about, some you might not. Battlefield 2042 is delayed until November 19th. Dying Light 2, I was bummed about this because I think that game looks great. Dying Light 2 was delayed until February 4th. It was previously December of 2021. Now it's February of 2022. And GTA 5 Remastered, release for PS5 and Xbox Series X and S, is delayed until March. It was supposed to be November. So most people are kind of done with GTA 5 at this point. Like, a lot of people I see, the online discourse is like, I'm over it. They've been working on this forever. Who cares at this point? Do any of those delays like hit you in the heart space, Mod?
I mean, I understand the marketing decisions when they wanted it out for December, because obviously the Christmas hype, the holiday season, that's where gift giving is at an all-time high, and that's when the industry booms. So to delay it to February, I think is going to hurt them. But as we've seen the case with CD Projekt Red and the absolute catastrophe fallout, as soon as the reputation of it being an unfinished game that was pushed out too soon happens, your game is done. Like, I can't remember the name of it. I didn't buy it. It's disappeared from my memory. What's the bloody game? What's the game that sucked? What is it? CD Projekt Red's
Cyberpunk 2077.
Cyberpunk. Yep.
And
so
honestly,
really cool.
that is a misleading answer, because I did actually enjoy the game. I played it on PC, so I feel like I probably had less technical issues that I ran into than most players. But I really did like the writing. I really did like the voice acting. I had a good time with the game despite the bugs I encountered. Now, that being said, I encountered a lot of glitches and bugs. I did a video on this YouTube channel where I was like, some of my funniest Cyberpunk glitches in like a highlight cut. Because there were definitely some problems with it, but I still had a good time. But I understand people being like, I'm super mad I paid full price for this, and then this is the result that I got. So especially, I heard it was worse on console. So,
but the thing is, it's like that company took such a hit. The stocks absolutely, dropped completely. And then there was a hacking scandal as a retaliation from it. So reputation, especially, I mean, if this is something that I talk about a lot, and that is, what video games essentially did, especially in the 90s and the 2000s, was create and reward loyalty. And as a consequence of that, when we feel betrayed by a gaming company, it is a permanent sort of scratch off that we have. Like, we are absolutely done with that. And like, great example, I only played Nintendo until I got the Xbox 360. Like, I did not grow up on PlayStation. That's not what I had. And I still find that I have a sense of loyalty there. It's just interesting how that works. But it was just the overall sort of betrayal that I'd felt secondhand of when CD Projekt Red put out Cyberpunk, and it was broken when they had anticipated it that much. Like, you can't build that back.
Well, but that conversely, just to play devil's advocate here, did you play Witcher 3 when it first came out?
That's the thing. That was totally bugged out, but then it went on to win every single Game of the Year awards consecutively.
Right. So from CD Projekt's Red standpoint, maybe they were like, it's not a big deal if we release it buggy. We'll have time to fix it. It could still be awesome. Look at Witcher 3.
We're not going to learn this lesson because we were rewarded last time.
Right.
Yeah, I know.
And for a player like you said you felt totally betrayed when Cyberpunk 2077 came out as it did. Did you feel the same way about Witcher 3?
I played it later. I didn't play it until 2017.
Yep.
Yeah.
And I was the same way. I played Witcher 3 when it first came out and then got lost into Gwent very quickly and just Gwented it up. So I didn't experience a lot of the same bugs that a lot of people did until much later when it was a little bit more put together. Disco Cobra says Take-Two and Rockstar at this point are just greedy and are milking GTA 5 for everything it's worth. Cyberpunk was one of gaming's biggest letdowns.
Not only that, but like EA has gotten their reputations completely smeared from microtransactions. So like, we're just kind of, I always picture it like a game of Guess Who, and it's all the gaming companies, and we're just flipping them down, and there's only a handful that are sort of still left.
But to me, there's always a chance to come back. Make something awesome, prove me wrong, knock my socks off, and let's get back in good graces.
Beard Fantastic Yogi said a great point. No Man's Sky, I mean, that was a very disappointing, super anticipated, took so long to get better. Apparently, they won their grace back.
Yeah. Yeah, No Man's Sky totally did come back.
Baldur's Gate 3 put me through such excruciating hell, and I paid full price for that game. They released that early access way too early. And what it was paying money to become the game's tester. And I do not respect that. I had such an awful time playing that game. It was beyond buggy. And it's not, has it even like been fixed and it's the 100% kind of version yet? Or is it still
No,
early?
I mean, it's not at full release yet. I had a much more favorable experience with it than you did. However, once they were like, hey, this new update is going to erase your game saves, you can either play in its previous version and keep your game save, or update to the newer version where we fixed this, this, and this, and added in this, this, and this, but it's going to erase your whole character and you'll have to start over. To me, I was like, cool, while that may work for some games, it does not work for me in an RPG. Especially an RPG that is that complex. Like, I want to use my character I've created. I want to progress through this experience as my character. And so I thought, you know what? If that's the true experience I want, I'm going to take a step back and wait until it's fully released. Because I want to experience it as the character that I've created. I don't want to, as you said, Maud, game test for them over and over. As excited as I am for that title. Because I really am excited for that title. Because I was so excited, I jumped in early and was like, yeah, I'm going to do it. I don't care if it's buggy. Let's do it. I was not anticipating full game wipes repeatedly.
The game was so not complete. It did like maybe the first 6 hours and that's all you had. They should have released a 2-hour demo and used all of that as a global play testing, because that game was so buggy, but also how they made the game, the amount of feedback that they got with like the chance dice rolls impacting the game completely. Even like the combat, it's just like a tabletop game, and how that combat works does not translate to an RPG video game, and they needed to make adjustments.
It can though. Divinity Original Sin and Pillars of Eternity are both amazing franchises that do it very well.
I bought them both. I got bogged down by that.
Well, I will just say there are a lot of tabletop gamers that look at Divinity Original Sin 2, in particular Pillars of Eternity, and say, this is the most beautiful translation of tabletop that I have seen to video games. So I do think it can be done. Now, that being said, there are some people whose personal preferences, like yourself, Maud, would prefer their video games to be a bit more streamlined and not quite as bogged down with the math and the dice rolls of it as you get in a tabletop D&D session. Because in tabletop, like when you're actually there with your friends, there's a whole nother element to it that can make the die rolls and the math seem a lot more palatable. You don't have that in a video game, so you might prefer a more streamlined experience.
You're so heavily dependent on all your team. It is such a team-based game that the AI, it's like if you go into stealth and you walk, everyone in your party should go into stealth as well, not run forward. Like there was so
that was an incredibly frustrating thing from the time that I played. You go into stealth and like creep in, and your whole party just like walks in behind you, all like, "Hey, what's up, everybody? We're here."
All my party, it was like a nearly total party kill, and I had one party member left, and they decided to stand in the fire, and I couldn't do anything because it was AI. So, and we'd just defeated the stage, and I watched them. They were standing in acid, and I couldn't move them, and so I watched them slowly die of stupidity and acid burns. I was just really mad.
Yeah.
And I don't know if I want to play that game again. And I've paid full price for a shit game.
I will say, if you don't enjoy Divinity Original Sin 2, I would probably not spend my time going back to Baldur's Gate 3. Obviously, they're going to be different games, but that would be my guess. I see some love in chat for Pillars of Eternity. I'm sure that one person thought it was fine. Steven Summers says, Gale. F Gale. We all feel that way. Tyler Boyce says, turn-based mode resolves all those AI issues by giving the player total control over each character. The trade-off is that the gameplay takes much longer. Absolutely it does. And again, appealing to different types of gamers. So I'm happy that those options are in there. All right, quick news bites. Halo Infinite updates are slowly coming in before the game release. 343 Industries stated that Halo 5 won't be released on PC despite a recent leak. 343 Industries also stated its current focus is mostly towards the release of Halo Infinite. The multiplayer preview for Halo Infinite is set to go live on September 24th, and Halo Infinite is set to be released for Xbox One, Xbox Series X and S, and PC on December 8th. I'm a big Halo fan. I'll be playing it, but just so you know, that's what's going on with Halo. Also, Xbox has revealed some information about their Tokyo Game Show showcase. It is scheduled to be held virtually on Thursday, September 30th at 6 p.m. And they said, jump in and join Xbox as we bring our gaming ecosystem into the world. And it's supposed to be around 50 minutes, give or take. And then also very quickly, the PS5 update is now live. So now, this is exciting to me. It allows users the option to install their M.2 SSDs. You can take your own M.2 SSD, which mod is what I want to install into your laptop, to expand the internal storage. You can now do that in a PS5, so ranging from capacities from like 250 gigabytes up to 4 terabytes into your PS5. And then there are also user experience enhancements as well, but for me, it's the ability to add your own M.2 that is really, really awesome. So that's the news for this week. Maud, is there anything else that you're like, I just got to talk about that?
Shade X says, what kind of headphones are those? These are the Alienwares. They sent me some new, like, little awesome stuff.
Oh, like are those the 510H?
Yeah, which comes with the mouse and
we are twinsies now. Yep.
Keyboard.
Yes, that's the exact same peripherals that I have and use.
They're good. I like it. Because they were like, do you like aesthetic? Do you like all your stuff to be matching? And I was like, yes.
Yes.
So it's been really nice.
Beautiful. Yes, Alienware Hive fam. So for those of you watching who don't know, Maud and I are both in the Alienware Hive, which means that every now and then Alienware will surprise us with new products for our setup. So they're able to help us power our content creation and keep our content creation running, which is awesome. Alienware is also really nice in that there is no editorial input. Granted, there is no requirement to post, and they gift us product and then say, you know, if you use it and you like it, we'd be honored if you talk about it, but if not, no worries, don't worry about it. And so I love that approach. I think it's a lot easier than for content creators to say what they really think about stuff, as opposed to kind of more traditionally run brand deals where a brand might say, we're going to write you a check and you need to say these 10 things and call it a day, where like their legal departments get very involved. Alienware Hive is super casual and loosey-goosey and just kind of a group of people that all enjoy gaming hardware. And I also like that you need to they need to meet you first before you are in the hive, which is nice.
I only got in because of Trish. She was my invite in.
We went to an Alienware event at CES one year. That's not true. We went to an Alienware event at CES one year, and introductions were made, and they were like, Maud Garrett. That Maud Garrett's pretty awesome. So you did it. It was you being awesome at that event.
It wouldn't have happened without you.
Being a kind, positive, wonderful person and putting that energy out into the world, and that's what we love about you. So Maud, if people want to follow you online, where can they do that?
I am streaming on Geek Bomb, which is on Twitch. So if you look up Geek Bomb, one word, GEEKBOMB, that's where you can find it. I stream Tuesdays, Fridays. I'm streaming after this, and it used to be Sundays. And Wednesday nights I do a book club. I also hit my microphone from time to time. That's always fun. And I'm Maud Garrett on all socials as well. Thank you.
Yay. Thank you so much for joining us for happy hour today, Maud. I know we keep saying this, but eventually we'll have you actually here in the bar in person. We will totally make that happen. It's just...
Can we do a drunk happy hour one time? That would be funny.
I mean, that's kind of the idea.
Okay.
Yeah, that's kind of the idea. I generally take it easy. I will drink tea or a non-adult beverage if I need to go pick up my son from daycare after this. So it kind of depends on the day. But I think we could make that happen. I also think maybe a stream of that nature could be fun, or a squad stream of that nature could be very fun as well.
I love it. I really want to do Deathloop. Can we please do that? Especially if it's a little scary, because I need someone to hold me.
Well, it's not supposed to be scary, but it's scary in that someone's constantly could be hunting you down, but you don't know.
Okay.
Yeah, that's scary. So yes, Deathloop stream incoming. All right, thank you all so very much for watching this week's Dragonrider Happy Hour. I appreciate you being a part of this community so much. Thank you for hanging out with Maud and I and giving us just an outlet to kind of talk about the stuff that we would normally talk about if we were out at Happy Hour anyway. So thank you for being a part of that. The next time I will be live is Sunday morning for my Sunday morning stream over on twitch.tv/Trisha Hershberger. And Maud, you said you're streaming later today on twitch.tv/geekbomb, right?
I am. I've got a farm in Stardew Valley and I play with the Atom Vision and it's been a lot of fun. Hold on, but if Sunday, when do you play Deathloop?
I'm probably playing around, so I usually start my stream at 10, kind of have coffee and catch up with everybody for like an hour or so, and then start playing games around 11.
Interesting.
Yeah, if you can, you need to get to a certain part in the game, I believe, before you can join somebody else's game. So if you can catch up by Sunday at 11, we'll see what happens.
Done.
Okay.
I like that.
I love it too.
Oh.
I love it too. All right. Thank you, everybody, so much for watching. You guys have been awesome. Please go follow Maud Garrett on all the great places. And Steven said Maud is also streaming tomorrow for D&D charity.
Totally forgot. Thank you, Stephen. I really appreciate that. Yes. If you check out the actual Wizards of the Coast, the D&D channel on Twitch, our game starts at 7:30. The streamer/actor David Blue will be DMing that one.
I love him.
Fun. Yeah.
And is Anthony Rapp also playing in that game, or was that another one you were doing?
I can't remember.
Okay.
I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
If you happen to be around a D&D table with Anthony Rapp, can you fangirl for me?
Yes, I can.
Thank you.
You're very welcome. I can do that. Yes, I got you.
Okay, perfect. I just need you, at some point in the adventure to, work in there Seasons of Love. Do you know what that is? No, you...
No idea.
The Broadway musical Rent.
Oh, Trisha, that's cute that you think I know anything about that. All right.
We'll work on it. It's good. It's good. We'll work on it. All right. I love you all dearly. Have a great rest of your week / kick off to your weekend. And we'll see you soon. Thank you so much for joining us. Bye, everyone.